Great morning, great morning. Thank y'all for tuning in. My name is Vicky for those who do not know me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to share some exciting news. On yesterday, can somebody say yesterday? Yesterday? But anyway, I can't sing. That was just a little joke. But on yesterday, um, I was at this job site where I care my students to do the intern. As I was sitting there, I didn't know that this older lady, which was real sweet, don't know her name, but we got to talking, and she shared some things with me. She said, I noticed that you're drinking a tea. And she asked me what kind of tea, and I told her, I said, it's just something that my brother passed on to me. So he got it off the internet. And, I don't know the name. I guess he don't know the name. But anyway, he passed it on to me. And I try to drink it every morning. But sometimes I fall short. Because sometimes I'm in a rush and going out the door. And she said, what's all in it? And I told her again. And she said, that sounds like the tea I drink. I said, okay. I said, do you know the name? She said, no, it's just something that my holistic doctor gave me. So she began to talk about her holistic doctor. And she said, I noticed that you have a lot of products in your bags that you have like grapes and you have blueberry. I say, yeah, I try to get things that are organic. And she went to laugh and she said, well, that's what I used to do. She said, but organic, and she said, I don't know why that they put organic on there. She said, because they have to put chemicals in there in order to package and let it stay fresh and not put the moisture in. So she said, I don't know why that they say that, and that's not true. She said, because anything that is packaged has to have some kind of pesticides and chemicals to hold the quality of life. And as she went on to talk, and I'm like, okay, it's making sense. That makes sense. Anything that's packaged up and sealed up, it has to hold its quality, and you have to put something in there, some kind of chemical in there, so it can last. And she said, what I do, I raise my lettuce and a few more things. She said, I go straight to my garden and I go in and I put some vinegar in there and I put some water and I fill it up in the sink. I said, yeah, I do that, to get all the pesticides and the chemicals out and just clean it up. I said, yeah, I do that. And she said she noticed a lot of people when they shop, they don't like to buy, what did she say? Lettuce, head of lettuce, the romaine lettuce. It has a name that it's not good for you. It's not healthy for you. And she said, what if you just get the ones already chopped up and still have romaine in there some way, and all this lettuce just chopped up, and you grab this bag of lettuce, and she said, you still getting the same thing. And I thought about it. She said, I just get the cheapest lettuce if I get it from the store. She said, but I have a garden and I grow lettuce. And she said, I go out there and I chop it up, and she said, I just eat it. She said one thing that the Food and Drug Administration don't want us to know is that we're paying this high cost, that they sticking these labels on here that says organic. And she said, if you think about it, something has to go in that package to keep it fresh. And she went on and she told me about, oh yeah, I have my juice here, that is tea that I'm drinking. She said, if you think about it, she said, they out to make money. That's what they supposed to do, is to make money. So I was like, yeah. She said, but it's our job to do our research and investigate. And I say, yes, that is true. So she applauded me for, doing a job. And I told her about my story, how I had to really come to grips about my health and get serious about my health. And she said, I'm 69 years old, never been on a pill in my life, and pray that I never be on one. She said, all I take is vitamins. That's it. She said, prescription drugs, I do not take. And I say, wow, that is my goal, is to get off all medication. But she went to tell me about this holistic doctor here in the locals. And I said, okay, do I need to pay a fee? Is it free? She said, oh, it's free. It's once a month. He has a little class, and he teaches on holistic. Once a month. She said, I've been going for 14 years or something like that. And she said, I will miss it for the world. I love it because now, she said, I'm making different things. And she said, I just will miss it. And I'm so thankful and grateful that God connected us together yesterday. And many times that I have seen her in the art gallery, we never have spoken like that until yesterday. We normally say, hi, and pretty much it. So that motivated me to strive a little bit more, to dig deep. So I wrote down, I looked it up on the internet, and I wrote down the times and the hours, and I said, I'm going to start popping in and see what I can add to my agenda. And I'm so grateful that God turned my life around as far as, eating healthy, having a healthy mind, because the mind is very important. I used to suffer from depression. I no longer suffer from depression. Any little thing used to get me down, or something what somebody said, it would just stick right here in my head all day until it leaves on its own. I gave the mind permission to just badger me all day, maybe 2 or 3 days. Now I don't give the mind permission, because I control my mind, my thinking, my mindset. I control my environment and everything around me. I choose to control my well-being, because that affects your immune system, that affects your health, that will affect your life, and the people that you surround yourself with. So that's why it's so important to surround yourself with good people. Laughter is the best medicine. And she mentioned about eating an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And I really forgot what she said, but it was something in that apple that brings on better health as well. She did tell me, but it just slipped my mind. But if she comes today, I would definitely revisit about the apple. And I was so excited on yesterday, and she said, Vicky, just keep up the good vibes, have the good vibes, and keep up doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job. And I said, thank you. So when she told me that, I walked away with a positive mindset, and I took away from the table something that I can carry with me, and not only with me, to pass it on to people like you. So I'm just excited. You know, life is good now. There was a time that life wasn't good to me, and that was my choice. So when you're living an unhealthy life and putting everything in your system, immune system in your body that doesn't belong there, then you're going to have these sickness and disease, and you're going to have a mindset of being depressed when things don't go your way. You know, all of this ties into living a healthy life or a better life. Now, as I state that I don't eat meat, but I eat plant-based, okay? That doesn't mean that I'm a vegan. I'm not a vegan. I used to be a vegan, but I'm not a vegan. So I do not eat eggs and no dairy products whatsoever. Now, when I was a vegan, my intake, that my friend, she said, well, she was a vegan, so I was learning a little bit from her. But when I gained knowledge of vegans, you know, it was a lot of fried foods, a lot of fried foods. We would go to McDonald's just about every day, okay? Then we would eat like a bun, and we'll put lettuce, tomatoes, onions, whatever you want. We'll fix it up like a burger. I don't eat bread anymore. So I learned from my mistakes. And I'm like, no, I tried it for 3 years. It wasn't for me. But now I'm not a vegan. I don't eat meat, but I eat plant-based. So there is a difference. And I don't do dairy products. So I mentioned on yesterday that I will be starting a 21-day fast. I'm preparing myself as we speak. And I believe that it will start pretty soon. I will keep you guys posted. I will have everything prepped and set up for 21 days. And that's strictly juicing, you know. So I'm excited. I can't wait. This will be my first 21-day juice fast. I'm excited. So, that being said, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. So be blessed. Make sure that y'all like, subscribe, and tune in every day. Bye-bye.